Okay, so distribute means to give or like divvy out. The way that we do this in math is that we multiply or we give the number to every single term. Okay, so we multiply or give the number to every single term. So down here we've made a couple of mistakes. So when I take this 2 and I give it to the 3x, it makes 6x. When I take the 2 and I give it to the 5, what happens? I have to multiply, and so I shouldn't get 5, I should actually get plus 10. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to fix all of those mistakes. Go ahead and circle them and fix. So we looked at the mistakes on the top row and we looked at the mistakes on the bottom row. And the top row, all of the mistakes had in common that they didn't distribute to that second number. So every single time this second number was wrong. On the bottom row, we noticed that when we distributed, we didn't get the right sign. So that sign was wrong every single time. And even in this last one, we didn't change the sign at all. So it needed to change the sign in every single portion. Okay, so those were the answers to 5 and 6. On the next page, we start looking at adding polynomials. This word polynomials looks super scary. It just means multiple terms. We specifically call it a polynomial when we look at parentheses added with other parentheses. So, when I combine like terms, when I add polynomials and I combine like terms, I can just drop these parentheses. Because if I distribute a negative or a positive sign in, then the positive sign doesn't change anything. If you multiply by a positive, it doesn't change the signs. You're totally fine, so you just rewrite them. So when I rewrite them, I have 3x plus 7x are now my like terms that combine to get 10x. My 5 and my negative 3 combine and give me negative 2. Actually, it's positive 2 because the positive number was bigger. That's my final answer. I could also do it so that they added up and down. So if I look at C, I could instead say, hey, it's a positive, so I get to just remove the parentheses. And I could add them up and down. So where I have 3x minus 4x, this gives me negative x. 4 minus 7 gives me negative 3. That's my final answer. So it's your choice if you want to do sideways or up and down. You might notice that sideways is hard to do on one like this, where the terms don't match up, where that's a squared, and this is just a regular x. Okay. Don't forget that in some of these you're going to have to go and distribute before you can add. So again, in some of these you're going to have to distribute before you can add. So in class we practiced the adding polynomials, then we've moved on and we're now on subtracting polynomials. And when we subtract polynomials, we have to actually distribute this. Because when we distribute a negative sign, it's going to change the signs of the entire problem afterwards. So that 6x squared becomes a negative 6x squared. A negative times a negative is going to make a positive 2. And then I can go together and I can combine these. When I combine these, I get 8x squared minus 6x squared makes 2x squared. I get positive 9, or I get negative 9 plus 2 gives me negative 7. And that's my final answer. Okay. There are a couple of things that I want to look at and point out right now. You are going to have to distribute here the entire negative 2. So that whole negative 2 distributes. And then the other thing that I want to look at here is this is an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and a number, none of those are going to combine. So once you distribute, you have your final answer. Okay, so we can also distribute fractions. When we do this, we distribute it to everything. Since I'm multiplying by 1 right now, it's really easy for me to just do 2x cubed divide by 2. 4x divide by 2. The positive 8 divide by 2. And to go through and actually divide those by 2. So here I would get x cubed, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Here I would get negative 2x, and here I get positive 4. Okay. On this second one, it gets a little harder, because now when I distribute, I have to multiply by that top number as well. So 2 times 9 makes 18x squared. 2 times 3 makes 6x. 2 times 6 makes 12, and it's negative. Then I divide by 3 all the way across. Okay? Some teachers might teach the division first. I think it does you a little bit better if we look at the multiplication and then divide everything. But whatever way works better for you, I am happy with. Okay, so we're going to do the rest of this page in class. And then your homework tonight was 293. And so you're looking at adding. And when you add, you can just get rid of the parentheses. And subtracting. So when you subtract, you got to make sure that you distribute in. And make sure that it's going to all of those terms. And then you're going to combine like terms, making sure that you are not combining this x cubed with an x squared or just a regular x. Okay, so those are some things that you want to watch out for tonight. Making sure that you're distributing all the way in every place that it needs to distribute. Okay. And that's kind of the wrap up of what we did.